I'm going to show you how to make a grandma-style pizza. I call it a patty style after my mom, and the difference is that I put sesame seeds on the bottom. When I do it, I use raw sesame seeds because in the oven they're going to toast up and you don't want them to burn by toasting them twice. The first thing you want to do is do a nice coating of extra virgin olive oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil because it has a really high heat point. It won't burn in the oven and it has a really great flavor. So once you drizzle your olive oil down, you're going to spread it evenly on your pan. Then you're going to sprinkle your sesame seeds on top. You want to do a pretty good amount, but not so much that you're wasting the sesame seeds when you pull the pizza out of the pan. So you can see that I've thoroughly coated the bottom. Now we're going to place our dough on top. And you always want the bottom of your dough face down. Ideally, your dough is at room temperature, so it's been out for about an hour now. Then you're going to drizzle olive oil on top. And the key to making a grandma-style pizza is pressing it from the middle out. You want the dough to be very even, and you don't want the crust to be bigger than the middle of the pizza. Smooth the oil over and start from the middle and work your way out. Now, normally with a grandma, I'm not a fan of lifting the dough to pull at the corners, but with the sesame seeds, you can see that they kind of gather at the ends. So I just like to lift it and put it on top, so that you really get all those sesames on the bottom and you're not wasting them. The goal of the first push is to get it as much in the corners as you can, but a lot of times that's not going to happen, so I like to let the dough rest for about 20 minutes and then do a second push. After that second push, you're not going to mess with your dough at all because the whole point of letting it rise is that you're creating those nice air bubbles in the dough. You can see that the dough is very even and it's almost in the corners. So I'm going to let this rest for about 20 minutes and then we're going to do one more push. So our dough has had a chance to relax into the pan. Now we're going to do that final push so that the corners are nice and tight. Again, you're going to push from the middle out and just gently nudge it into the corners. You don't want the corners going up the pan. You just want to make sure that you have a square pizza. And at this point, if the dough has been out long enough, it should nicely slide right into the corners. Now we're going to let this rise for about an hour in a warm spot. You don't want it hot because you don't want the dough actually cooking, but you want it to rise a little bit before we put it in the oven.